HCMC Army, welcome back to the channel. HCMC took the hit 46% down in last trading session. We went to 0.00014. I wanted to share quickly with you where we are in terms of HCMC, what is going on. We have two different tracks. One is the lawsuit, another one is the PTAB inter-partes review. We'll talk further about that. We'll talk about the timeline. We'll also talk about what HCMC itself is up to as a company. We'll also talk about what is going on with the lawsuit and what HCMC is going to do next in terms of the appeal process for PTAB or the institutional patent review. What is the next step and what timeline we are looking into. We'll also look into how to view the prior art, how to take a look at what's going on with the patent 170 as you see on my screen. We'll look into the timeline on USPTO's website. We'll further look into how HCMC is doing, what is their balance sheet looks like, what HCMC is doing as a business and how much cash do they have. And last but not the least, many people ask me, so we'll look into further into the volume that we saw in last trading session and what it means for the investors, whether you should hold, buy or sell. That's up to you, but I'm here to share the information, research and analysis with you so that you can make informed financial decision. Hit that like button so we can share this information with more and more people. There's a ton of FUD going on, fear, uncertainty and doubt, and that's always the case for penny stock. It is based on the news. It can go 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 times up, and it can go down 50-70% down as well. Now, particularly for HCMC, one of the biggest catalysts that I've been talking for a long time is there are two catalysts, by the way. The first one is the lawsuit, then another one is the PTAB application or the inter-partes review that has been instituted at the moment. So let's talk about all the kind of stuff. But before that, I just wanted to share that we saw last time a super heavy sell volume in last trading session that happened in last 15-20 minutes. There were huge sellers showed up that we saw, which dragged this price down to 1.4. Otherwise it was trading between 2 and 3 levels, rather 2 and 2.5 level. We saw that a ton of trades were happening at 3 levels as well. So let's talk about all the kind of stuff. Our market cap is cut in half right now, 45.87 million for HCMC. HCMC is still wondering what they want to do as a next step, but they have divided themselves into 5 business. That's not important at this point, but I want to talk about what's going on between HCMC versus Phillip Morris in terms of the lawsuit, which is right here, and then the PTAB application inter-partes review, which is right here on the right side. They're both different tracks, so you want to separate them out. They're correlated with each other, but they're not directly connected with each other, so one doesn't impact the other one just yet. If you take a look at the lawsuit part in this flow chart, you should be able to see that the lawsuit was filed in November 2020. So we are in 13-14 months at this point, and looking into it, what happened next is there was a petition that was filed, motion to dismiss by Phillip Morris, where Phillip Morris is saying that there is no legit reasons or there are no merits into this particular patent infringement. Now, HCMC is suing Phillip Morris for IQOS product, saying that it is infringing one of the patent that HCMC owns, and that the patent is that 10561170 or patent 170B2, as we have been talking about. Now, this lawsuit particularly that went to the judge, the federal judge, they looked further into it, the motion to dismiss, and they found that there is no merit at the moment. So they dismissed the case, or the case is closed at the moment, and then we saw the decision in December. Now, in December, HCMC appealed this December 2021. So the lawsuit was filed in 2020. After 1 year, there was a motion to dismiss was accepted. That means the case was closed. The judge advised the clerk to close the case, and HCMC appealed on the top of that, which is right here. HCMC announces filing appeal to ruling in case against Phillip Morris that happened on December 14, 2021. Healthier Choice Management announced that it has filed an appeal of the district court in Northern District of Georgia's dismissal of HCMC's patent infringement against Phillip Morris USA Inc., Phillip Morris USA SA. HCMC believes that Georgia court committed legal error by dismissing its complaint for the patent infringement and also by denying HCMC's motion to amend its pleading. Now, the CEO said that we will continue vigorously pursue our case through the appellate process as we believe the facts and controlling law supports our motion. He also added that the company continues to move forward with its various growth initiatives. We're presently in the process of rebranding our recent acquisition of EIR Hydration and the companies that they're acquiring, which is unrelated to this particular lawsuit that we are talking about at the moment. Now, many people ask, what is the next step? What is the timeline? At this point, we do not really know the timeline. It can take next few months before we can figure out what are the next steps, what is going to happen, whether it'll go to discovery or trial, so on and so forth. So on the lawsuit piece, we don't really have any update, but it remains one of the biggest catalysts with no real timeline as to when it's going to happen. The next one, or the second track, is the PTAB application, which is inter partes review, which unfortunately also has been instituted as well. Inter partes review was filed in 2021, and that was in the month of June 2021. So if you take a look right here, HCMC comments on PTAB petition for inter partes review filed by Phillip Morris. So what happened at that point is Phillip Morris is saying that this particular patent is not valid, and they have filed this particular inter partes review for the patent that is owned by HCMC. Now, what HCMC said, HCMC was currently reviewing the IPR petition. They intend to vigorously oppose the institution of the IPR proceeding, and the IPR is inter partes review that will be discovered and that will be further analyzed by USPTO, the PTAB, the PTAB authority itself. Now that has been now instituted, and this is the order December 17. That's what we heard on that as well. So two dates you want to consider. The first one is the December 14th as to when HCMC filed this appeal, December 14, 2021, and this order was announced or made public rather on December 17th, 2021. So this particular order says right here, I want to go directly into the conclusion. If you want to find out more information about it, you can watch my previous video where I went in more detail. It is considered of the foregoing, it is hereby ordered that the inter partes review of all challenge claims of the patent 170 is instituted with respect to all grounds set forth in the petition. Furthermore, ordered that pursuant 35 USC 314, inter partes review of the 170 patent is instituted commencing on the entry date of this decision. So there will be trial on this particular inter partes review. Now, right before that, HCMC had an alternative optional reply to file, but take a look right here. Healthier Choice Management did not file a preliminary response, which is for the most part it's optional, so you don't really have to do that. But right after that, let's take a look further. Let's go back here. So right now this review has been instituted, so it took about 6 months, and right now we're in December 2021 still. And I wanted to show you that how long it can take. It can take up to 1 year, and then there is also a clause of 6 months extension period. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence. This is based on what I found online in the public domain, as well as in my research that I'm sharing this information with you. By the way, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. But take a look, 1 year and 6 months. Now, for both this, what is the final outcome for both of this track? One is the lawsuit, other one is the PTAB application, inter partes review. We do not really have the final outcome just yet, so it's up in the air. That's why they're one of the big catalysts. One is the lawsuit, another one is inter partes review. They're both important, but they're both separate tracks, and they're not really correlated with each other at this particular point. So it'll work they'll work in parallel, for lack of a better word. So you want to consider that. Now, this is their patent, that US 10561170 B2 or 170 as we say. It's an electronic pipe that includes battery with an electronic module, which is a combustible material, which is where the whole confusion is. HCMC is saying that IQOS product is there is a combustion that is happening. It is not 100% combustion, but it's a partial combustion that is happening in IQOS product, which is why they're infringing this particular patent that they have, where HCMC is saying, where Phillip Morris is saying that HCMC does not really have the patent and it's a prior art and it should be challenged, and that's why they're challenging. The pipe transmits an electronic So in this particular patent, the pipe transmits an electric current from the battery and the heating element, and it hits the element the way it is designed to initiate combustion reaction in the combustible material, at least the partially combustion in the combustible material for the inhalation process or purposes. And this patent, you can find out this grant patent, and furthermore you can also find out what exactly happened and when that happened. So if you take a look right here, and if I scroll down, you should be able to see that on June 14th 2021, pending instituted, and the petitioner is Philip Morris Product SA, which is PM or Philip Morris, and the patent owner at that point and still is HCMC that they are challenging, and PO entry is the operating company. If you take a look furthermore into 2021, December 16, 2021, the status is open and the court is called Court Appeals for the Federal Circuit, and plaintiff is HCMC, defendant is definitely Philip Morris. And with that, we will be able to find out more as to what's gonna happen and what will be the next outcome. They also have the filing date 2020 11/30th, that is November 30th 2020, where the status is closed, and Georgia Northern Court District, where HCMC is the plaintiff. Defendant is Philip Morris, and the cause is patent infringement. That is also has been recorded. Now these are the two catalysts that you want to look further into. Now what this means for in terms of the inter partes review. Now we are at this stage right here. If a post-grant review is instituted, which is the case, the termination of the post-grant review, the deadline do not apply to the first to invent patent. So that part is fine. The patent owner may file a preliminary response. Now, if the proceeding is instituted, this is very important. So I want you to take a look. If proceeding is instituted and it is not dismissed, final determination by the board will be issued within 1 year, and it is expandable or extendable for good cause by 6 months, and the procedure for conducting inter partes reviews will be in effect September 16, 2012, which is the process that HCMC will also fall into. So this is the particular process for HCMC and Philip Morris's inter partes review institution that has been done. Now, if you think about HCMC's current asset, they have a ton of money into their balance sheet, and for the company to fuel more of their book of business. Right now, they have a total asset of 36 million. They have current cash and cash equivalent up to 28.1 million. They did the rights offering at 0.0010. At that price point, they filled out $27 million and they sold about 27 billion stocks with the proceeding of $27 million. With that, they have current asset of 2.3 million. All in all, they have total current asset of 30.5, so 30.5 million, with other assets of 6.1 million, which totals out at 36.6 million of total current asset that HCMC has. Prior to that last year, they had only 11.8 million with $925,000 just in cash. So little under $1 million in cash that the company has right now, $28 million in cash. If you take a look right here, their volume bumped up in last trading session, as you see, from 855 million to 3.5 billion. So the volume spiked up 4 times, and we saw there was an influx of sell pressure around the closing of the market, close of business day, which brought this stock down to the 1 level that you see from 3 to 1, which is a massive deep. If you take a look from 3 to 1, it's 66% deep, which is unfortunate, but I just wanted to share what exactly happened. So once again, going back, you want to figure out what you want to do based on your research and analysis. But what I'm trying to say is HCMC has still both the catalysts up in the air. Catalysts are practically the same because the appeal process is as good as the lawsuit can still go on the trial phase. We'll see what brings next for HCMC and Philip Morris lawsuit. Up until then, I'll make sure I'll keep you posted. Click on that like button, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.